The Locked On Bulls. In today's episode, we're going to talk about what could be the Bulls' best overall team win in years. We're also going to talk about one of the Bulls lineups having the fourth best net rating in the NBA, and of course, more Zach LaVine trade news. We're going to get to all that and more on today's Locked On Bulls.
You are Locked On Bulls, your daily podcast on the Chicago Bulls, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thanks for tuning in to Locked On Bulls, member of the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every single day. That's Pat the Designer, host and creator of the Windy City Breeze and host of the Chicago Bears podcast over at ESPN 1000. I'm Haize, host and creator of Chicago Bulls and Chicago Bears Central YouTube pages and podcasts themselves. But Pat, we got a Bulls dub to talk about, bro. Went over the Lakers, 124-108. This was a win where the Bulls came out on fire, right? Winning the first quarter by 11 points. Now, they did drop down in the second quarter of that game. They ended up going up, I think, by 5 or 6 points at the half. But then they didn't lose another quarter after that. Won the third quarter, won the fourth quarter. Big end of the fourth quarter there as well. And this was one of the most balanced stat sheets I have ever seen. So I'm just going to read this off to you for a little bit, Pat, and then you can get into it. Patrick Williams, 15 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, 1 block. DeMar DeRozan, 27 points, 7 rebounds, 9 assists. Nikola Vucevic only making 4 shots, but still 13 points, 10 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, 1 block. Kobe White, 7 of 18 from the field, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, 17 points. Alex Caruso with 15 points, going 5 of 7 from the field, and then chipping in off the bench. Io with 14, Javon Carter with 10, Andre Drummond with 11. When's the last time you've seen every player basically that checked in scored in double digits? And even with Dalen Terry playing 21 minutes, I think he gave some really good minutes in that as well. Some still questionable times. The air ball 3 was bad look, but overall,
he can't shoot, bro. Shout out Baki. Baki said Dalen Terry is the new Ronnie Brewer.
That's crazy. That's very accurate.
He's more athletic than incredibly accurate, bro.
Yeah.
But man, listen, no, I was so excited for this game. Did a little bit of a watch party over on Playback. And as I was sitting there watching the game, man, I thought that, you know, the thing that kept standing out the most to me was there was a concerted effort to try as much as you can to get DeMar DeRozan in one-on-one opportunities because right, they just don't have the defenders to really stay in front of them. But at the same time, keep the ball moving. Don't get late in the shot clock and all of a sudden you're trying to kick a pass out to a last-minute shot. I thought they did a really good job of allowing guys to get the ball in a lot of positions where they were very, very comfortable shooting the basketball. And I just don't know if we've seen that a ton this season, right? Seeing Vooch, even though he had a poor shooting night. And by the way, it's the last time we ever give Vooch praise on a podcast. We gave him like a whole segment of an episode. That man came out and absolutely crapped the bed. But you know, like seeing Vooch even right with that corner 3, that's a spot where he's been very comfortable over his career. He's kind of been up and down with that this season, but being able to knock that down in tonight's game. Ayo Dosunmu with the corner 3. Kobe White, I mean, he's taking whatever shot he wants to, right? But using him as kind of a bailout, right? And I think Alex Caruso in the fourth quarter of this game, you really saw him kind of just have moments where he would go, yep, we're getting a little late in shot clock. Give the basketball to Kobe and you cook. I think that this was this was a win to me that felt like, and for all you Bulls fans that are AK doubters and hate everything about him, felt like continuity works.
Yeah, this is starting to feel like the continuity train is working finally. And I think as well, and I pointed this out on Central, you've talked about this several times. When has Billy Donovan been at his best as far as coaching? When does Billy Donovan's system look the best? When he has a point guard playing at a high level.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it always looks, listen, when you have Russ, right, it looks phenomenal. But even outside of that, right, Shai Gilgeous, Chris Paul. Now you see Kobe White kind of being able to do some of those similar things as well. Yeah, Billy Donovan's system looks like it works.
Yeah. And that's the thing. And I think that really is bringing all this home. And you saw even at times in the fourth quarter, and I was proud to see it. Like, I know people were saying like DeMar was being a black hole in the first half. I didn't feel like that this game. But then as you went down the stretch, you saw them. They would take, sometimes DeMar would take the ball across half court, but it would immediately go in Kobe's hands. And once the offense initiated, Kobe got to make the decision on where that ball went. It doesn't mean that he's always going to score, which he shouldn't. And in this game, it seemed like he was trying to feed the hot hand. He was getting other players involved, and that plays into what we saw today. Him, and I got to give Ayo credit. Ayo, no longer looking at Ayo playing point guard, right? But he did some of those point guard type things he did in college. So like, there's times where Ayo was aggressive, and he penetrated and he got the ball to other people as well. And you love seeing that from Ayo. So,
you got to watch out for aggressive penetration around there, man.
I mean, listen, some people welcome it. Some people welcome it.
That's how sometimes you got to send the video. But I think the one thing to me that, really stands out about
don't just casually move on from that.
Oh, should I have stopped? My bad. Was that
that's crazy. Keep it going. Keep it going.
My bad. I didn't know. I didn't know I needed that one there. But no, I just think that, like, when you look at Ayo's game, right, and I've said this for a while now, I said this a lot last season as well. I've always thought that he wasn't really a point guard. He was somebody that could play the point, right? Like, and I think that those are very different things. Like, Ayo Dosunmu is a guy that can play the point, and when you're coming off of a screen and you need to find the right guy, Ayo can do that at an elite level. But you still want him to be the focal point of his game, to be creating an offense, attacking the rim, getting downhill, and he's really good at finding those guys in the corner. I thought we saw that. I do think that there was an effort to have DeMar have the ball in his hands a lot. I think the 9 assists also speak to that. It was a weird game plan to me. I'm not gonna lie. I watched most of the game and I was like, this was a different game plan than what we've seen the last few weeks out of, right, Kobe White's dominating the ball most of the time. He's the one attacking. This felt like, DeMar, this is your world. You know how to be. Now, to their credit, it worked, right? But it as you watch the game develop, it just felt like, oh, maybe Billy knew coming into this game there was nobody on the other side of them, minus LeBron James, that was going to slow down DeMar. And they never really put LeBron on DeMar. I don't remember seeing LeBron on DeMar really at all in this game.
No, I don't think, at least for me, I can't remember a lot of it either. We had some possessions of Ayo on LeBron that I actually did pretty good on.
Hey, there was one where Ayo was trying to keep him from backing down. Brian just was like, hold up, excuse me, pardon me. Yep.
But then there's another time trying to back him down and he got that steal. So, I mean, yeah, but, that's a weird thing. And that goes back to the thing that we just don't have a lot of size on this team right now with Torrey Craig going down.
Either, though. I think that was, and maybe that goes to it, right? Once AD rolled the ankle, and that's what pissed me off when Vooch couldn't beat hobbled AD. But once AD rolled the ankle, it was just like, all right, like, who's next best center? Rui? That ain't good. Like, I like him at the 4 more so at the 3.
All I can say is this, too. I got to be petty here. You remember when Bulls fans saying that the Chicago Bulls were absolutely, the front office was terrible. They were crazy. They didn't sign Christian Wood. He was available to go out there for the vet minimum. You remember that?
Why?
Christian Wood is playing. He's not anymore. Like, this coming down. But he is averaging a Tony Snell stat line for the season.
Well, I mean, he only played 1 minute and 18 seconds in this game.
True, but he's still averaging 20 minutes per game. That's how many minutes he was playing early on in this season.
That is crazy, bro.
That's crazy. Yeah.
I haven't thought about Christian Wood in months.
That's what I'm saying. And Bulls fans swore up and down. The AK is like, we clearly need size. Christian Wood is, I remember I said on there, I was like, Christian Wood is not going to change the ceiling of the Chicago Bulls team.
Now, I think you get it. Well, maybe not. No, you probably get the same Christian Wood. Only thing that I'll say is looking at his game by game, I don't know how the games have played out. Like I said, I haven't watched a ton of Christian Wood. He hasn't taken more than 10 shots.
Is what you're saying? You don't
I haven't watched a lot of Wood. He hasn't taken more than 10 shots. He's only done it one time this season.
Twice. He's done it twice.
Is it twice? Oh, very beginning of the season. Yeah,
the first game of the season.
The first game of the season. So like, I don't know what, like, Darvin Ham never seemed like he really wanted him. By the way, what was up with Darvin Ham just letting AD limp?
Darvin, I maybe trying to prove a point.
That was beef.
He's trying to prove a point.
bro.
Darvin Ham looks like the
AD
kind of guy. He's like, hey, rub some dirt on it. That's what the samurai would have done. What are you talking
went down,
about?
What was that, second quarter, I believe it was? No, maybe it was the third quarter because he came back in the fourth. Went one up. He ends up going down with a rolled ankle. Bad roll. It was a really bad roll. Like I think it was Kobe White went down, left ankle rolled. It felt bad. And he just stayed down on the other end. And the Lakers went down and ran a play, didn't make it, came down the other way. Vooch missed the bunny. And then Brian got the rebound and started dribbling up and just threw the ball back thinking AD was coming up the court. And he never came up the court. And Darvin Ham never called a timeout. And I was like, does he not know he's hurt?
He doesn't care. Darvin Ham doesn't care, bro. He doesn't care. This is what it is. He doesn't care. He sees these players struggle. He keeps it pushing, just like we're going to keep it pushing and talking about our next sponsor on the show. And that is eBay Motors. You want to keep your vehicle pushing. eBay Motors got you there. Our partners at eBay Motors have teamed up with Locked On Fantasy Basketball host Josh Lloyd to bring you some of the best fantasy picks each week, all week long. Whether you're prepping for a daily draft or scouting the waiver wire, every week we're going to provide you players who are guaranteed to fit your roster. So let's see who Josh has picked out for us on this week's eBay Guaranteed Fit Fantasy Picks of the Week. So as I've been talking about all week, and I still think he's the best player to talk about on here, Tari Eason, listed as one of the players that, despite not starting, is getting quite a bit of minutes for Ime Udoka. And again, he's kept it going yet again with his double-digit scoring. He finds a way. If you get him some minutes, he's going to get you close to a double-double. Last game, 14 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 block, 4 steals in that, all on 13 shots from the game where he made 5 of those. Tari Eason is a really good pickup, especially if he's a free agent or on the waiver wire, or you may want to trade for him depending on what that is. But I think Tari Eason is a really good pick for most of your fantasy rosters. Josh Lloyd from Locked On Fantasy Basketball is going to help you win your fantasy championship. And eBay Motors knows a championship team is about each player being a perfect fit. Same for your vehicle. With over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die, you can make sure your ride stays running smoothly. Brake kits, LED headlights, roof rack, bumpers, whatever your baby needs, eBay Motors has it. And with the eBay Guaranteed Fit, it's guaranteed to fit your ride the first time, every time, or your money back. Plus, at these prices, you're burning rubber and not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. eBay Guaranteed Fit, only available to U.S. customers. Eligible items and exclusions do apply.
Hey, bro.
What?
Don't it look like Darvin
That's
Ham
crazy.
tells people that they've had the power of the Black Panther stripped away?
No, Darvin Ham looks like one of those people who's like, hey, you tell your auntie, you remember to tell your auntie I said hi, don't you? Make sure you tell your auntie I said hi.
Make sure you tell Cheryl I came through. Darvin Ham get out the car and throw his leg.
Exactly. You walk into the store, he like, what you buying, young blood? Don't worry, I got you a couple of sodas for you. Just make sure you tell your auntie Cheryl I said hi, and then I'm missing. I've been thinking about it. She been fine since high school. That's Darvin Ham.
Back in the day, she used to be a bang bang.
Sexy Red ain't got nothing on your auntie Cheryl.
No, all right. Okay. Not Sexy Red, bro. Worst video of 2023 by far. Burned in my brain. I saw it by accident. I was blocking people that had that. I was blocking people, bro.
I woke up, I was minding my ever-loving business, bro. Just decided to open up Twitter just to see what was out there. I was hoping to see a tweet from KC Johnson. That's not what I saw on my timeline. It was crazy, bro. It was crazy. It was crazy. But with that said, man,
I was looking for KC Johnson. I got Sexy Red. I didn't know what to do. That's such a vast difference.
That's traumatizing, bro. That is very traumatizing.
They were trolloptizing.
Oh, with that said, so there's a list that came out of lineups with the best net rating so far this season. And surprisingly enough, so the Philadelphia 76ers lineup is first with plus 33 net rating. You have the Phoenix Suns starting lineup without Bradley Beal because he's been out most of the season, plus 25. You have the Boston Celtics starting lineup with Drew Holiday in there at plus 20.7. And then right there at number 4, above the Pacers, above the Clippers, above the Milwaukee Bucks, Kobe White, Ayo Dosunmu, DeMar DeRozan, Patrick Williams, Nikola Vucevic have the 4th best net rating in the NBA at plus 19.8.
Which doesn't surprise me because I think that this is a lineup that we see a lot of times where, now listen, I like that Billy Donovan changed it this week. No, let's not start the game with it, right? Then we started the game with it. We got killed early. But this is a lineup to me where we've talked about in this now 10-game stretch, right? Bulls 7-3 now without Zach LaVine on the floor pretty much.
Yep.
Is that how it's looking right now? In this 10-game stretch, we've talked about Ayo Dosunmu's defense a ton. We've talked about Patrick Williams' defense improving a ton. We've talked about DeMar DeRozan, who I think also has had some really good defense at times, spot times, right? But also creating the offense, being able to score the basketball really well. We've talked about Kobe White and his offense being really good. And before this game, right, Nikola Vucevic has been literally one of the best centers in the NBA when it comes to scoring down in the post and causing guys to force turnovers. So when you put those things together, I'm not surprised to see this net rating for the Bulls at all. And I think that I think the surprise for me is the fact that a lot of these other teams have a lower net rating. That is the part that's a little bit like the Pacers being that low to me is a little bit shocking. But I guess the Pacers basically don't play defense. They just like, hey, bro, like we shooting the ball or we shooting the ball. The Clippers is kind of surprising as well. 15 a plus 15 for the Clippers is surprising to me. The Bucks are the Bucks. Like I never expect the Bucks to have spectacular stats, but I expect them to win.
That's fair. It's wild to see that. And actually, when you look at overall in the NBA as well, not just specific 5-man lineups, the Chicago Bulls with Torrey Craig in the lineup. Now it's only 5 minutes. Where it's not worth talking about. Only 5 minutes of that lineup. That's crazy. But the lineup of Javon Carter, Torrey Craig, Zach LaVine, Nikola Vucevic, and Ayo Dosunmu have overall the 5th best net rating in the NBA. We just only saw 5 minutes of it, so that doesn't mean
we never ran it again.
We never ran it again.
Something must have happened. Somebody got dunked on bad, or something happened. Whatever. Like,
Billy Donovan in his numbers, he was probably like, "Yeah, great net rating, but y'all also average too many turnovers. We're not doing that anymore."
I mean, that's a good reason to not do that.
Yeah,
I can cook Billy, but that's actually a pretty good reason. No, the one thing that I'll say about this Bulls specific lineup is that this is one to me that we've seen a lot of times down the stretch as well. Now, that is more recently because Alex Caruso has been out, right, dealing with the injury and different things like that. But this is a lineup that I think you can count on down the stretch in games because, like I said, Kobe White, Kobe White, DeMar DeRozan, they've been the guys really providing a ton of that offense. If you can just get P. Will, Vooch, or Ayo Dosunmu to be playing like they played a little bit tonight, right? Where, that's that third option. That to me speaks to this Chicago Bulls lineup being a lineup that could be successful long term because, again, you're just looking for that one other guy. You know what you're getting from Kobe. You know what you're getting from DeMar offensively. Defensively, I think that, right, seeing this net rating on here to me, like, doesn't that kind of speak to, again, the culture shift that we've seen?
I think so. I think for sure. I think that spreading the ball around more, defense, offensive rebounding, which the Bulls right now over the last 10 games are the number 1 offensive rebounding team in the league and top 3 as far as second chance points. So that's things that's going to make that net rating go up big time. So it's not surprising to me, like the way the Bulls are playing right now, and I hesitate to say this because I don't want to jinx anything, but you correct me if I'm wrong. Tell me how you feel, Pat. This team plays like a team that's been on playoff runs before. They haven't, but they're playing like that type of team.
Playoff runs is tough. But I would say they're playing like a team that realizes that everybody thinks they're beatable. Mm-hmm. They're playing like a team that realizes that every night we have to fight for what we want. I think they're playing like a team that is now representing the ideals that AK, Billy Donovan, Mark Eversley wanted and why they brought in guys who were supposed to be tougher players, right? Like I thought about tonight, right? There was a play where it doesn't end up getting it, right? But I'm watching Javon Carter guard LeBron James and go, well, I'm not going to be able to beat him just facing up, right? I've got to get around the left side of him, see if I can steal the ball here. He goes a wrap around. I got to see if I can snatch it from the right side while also trying to force him in a certain direction so that maybe somebody else can make a play. Like seeing things like that, seeing guys play with a yeah, this is an uphill battle for me 100%, but I'm going to give this everything I've got. That's something we didn't see. When it was uphill battles, we just lost. Like, it was like, it's an uphill battle. I'm going back down the hill. And it's weird to say, right? Because a lot of times last season, the uphill battles weren't against the best teams. Yeah. The uphill battles came versus the teams that we felt like the Chicago Bulls were supposed to beat. Again, I look at this Bulls team this year, and it just feels like mentally this team has taken a turn in the positive. And I'll say this, right, before we do the ad read and get to this next segment. This feels like a extended version of what we saw. Well, I guess not extended because we're not past that amount of games yet, but what we saw with Patrick Beverley. Like,
that's
the
fair.
team had more dog.
That's fair.
So I don't know, man. Like, I hope that we see this continue. As Haize said, we got more Zach LaVine trade news. I feel like there's always more Zach LaVine trade news, no matter what.
It never fails, bro. It never.
Listen, Zach LaVine has basically been traded to every team in the NBA, and
but the team is probably going to end up going.
But the team is probably going to trade for him. The Orlando Magic. Hey, I ain't gonna lie to you,
bro. It's not
some dogs down there.
I agree with you. I agree.
Dogs down there.
It's probably
Zach LaVine to the Magic. Let's do it. Hey, we want to let you guys know this show's sponsored by BetterHelp. It is brought to you by BetterHelp. I should say BetterHelp is. Listen, when you're going through something, when you need somebody to talk to, you don't always want to sit there and go through somebody that you got to talk to face to face. Maybe you don't have that person that you can talk to face to face. I mean, whether or not your family gives you a gift during the holidays, you get to define how you give to yourself with BetterHelp, and the holidays are a great time to do that. So whether it's by starting therapy, going easier on yourself during the tough moments, or treating yourself to a day of complete rest, bro, I haven't done that in so long. And I had one day where it was like on vacation where I was like, I'm not going to look at anything work related. I almost went crazy trying not to look at anything work related, bro.
We know you're addicted to it.
Yeah, well, yeah, listen, I mean, it's a reason I'm successful, baby. But listen, if you're thinking about giving therapy a try, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. Here's all you have to do, because in the season of giving, you can give to yourself what you need with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/LockedOnNBA today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/LockedOnNBA.
How much longer you gonna let your hair get until you braid it? Just need to go ahead and just plait it up.
Hey, listen, long as you never see me show up with like whatever Drake got going on now, where it's just like, I don't even know what those are.
Those are midlife crisis braids.
Hey, bro, are they braids?
Those are midlife. Yeah, they're braids. They're
bro.
midlife crisis braids, bro.
Hey,
like,
bro, I don't know what it is, but I didn't. Somebody showed me whatever one of his new videos are today, and I was like, "What's in his hair?" There's like, I didn't.
Wait, y'all sitting around watching Drake videos together?
Background in the barbershop. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, that's fair.
It sounds real bad when you say it that way.
I'm just saying.
It was definitely a group of men sitting around
watching Drake videos. Hey, I'm not one to judge, but one thing that we are here to talk about, though, more Zach LaVine trade rumors popped out. So Darnell Mayberry from The Athletic. The Athletic is the original source. It was through Shams, though, of who originally announced the Zach LaVine trade stuff going on. It all started there. Pointed towards that the Lakers are still the most likely team to trade for Zach LaVine, even quoting that once there was a reluctance on including Austin Reeves in that trade. Well, that reluctance seems to have come down more. It seems like now they're kind of more reluctant to include Hachimura in the trade, which after watching them play today, I don't quite honestly understand
I'm good.
that. But and D-Lo, listen, if y'all still talking about getting D'Angelo Russell in here, y'all, if this game didn't prove nothing else, stop
yourself.
You're a loser. Stop it.
What Michael Jordan say? Stop it. Get some help.
But stop it. Get some help. How you feeling about the newest trade rumor around Zach LaVine? Because I mean, tomorrow he'll be favored to go to somewhere else. Like,
Here's the thing. No matter who it is, right? And I said this. Tony Gill tweeted something where basically he was like, is the Bulls winning hurting Zach LaVine's ability to be traded? No matter what, Lakers, Kings, Bucks, well, maybe not the Bucks, Pistons, right? Let's not help the Bucks, but Pistons, right? Whoever, you're probably gonna take an L on the deal, unless the Pistons might not be an L on the deal. It's probably the only
L
team
on the deal.
But it's still L. I don't know. Jaden Ivey, you getting a young guy?
Bro, listen. I think it's starting to get to the point where we're convincing ourselves on the potential. And don't get me wrong, Jaden Ivey has tons of potential. But I think some of us, not you, I know you're a more level-headed person. I think some people are selling themselves too high on what the potential of Jaden Ivey is. He's gonna come in here and score 12 points off the bench. Like,
I'm not gonna lie to you. We get 12 points off the bench. That's not bad.
I'm not saying it's terrible. I'm just saying that some people talk about Jaden Ivey like he has this potential to be like, and it's like,
yo, you're like he putting up 25 a night.
Yeah, like he's not Ben Gordon. Like we gotta stop that. Yeah,
I think he's coming here to play a role. But no matter what it is, right? Like, I'm to the point now, and I'm sorry. I don't want to be at this point. I love Zach LaVine's ability to score the basketball. You can't put him back on this court. I don't care who you trade him to.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not that it's not hate towards Zach. I want to see Zach be successful. I literally think like the whole foot thing, he's going to land on a team. It's going to take him a week. Bulls fans are going to be like, see, I told y'all he was done. And then he's going to put up 30 the rest of the season.
Oh, for sure. I mean, he got to still recover from Detroit dipping their toe in him. So, you know,
I mean, listen, it really took him out, bro. Like, yeah, it takes a lot out of you when you get the D toe put inside you. I couldn't even make it through it.
Oh man.
That's the craziest quote ever, bro. Detroit's looking to dip their toe in Zach LaVine. What? Why'd you go?
Oh my God.
But at the end of the day, right? I think that it is this. Like, when you see a game like you saw tonight,
mm-hmm.
We've seen games like we've said, there's 7-3 without Zach LaVine on the court. You can't put somebody back out there that might disrupt the chemistry. Maybe he goes back into the lineup and he fits perfectly and everything was kumbaya and it never was an issue. Blah, maybe. But it's like you said earlier, right? Like yesterday's episode. I think it was yesterday's episode. That's a crazy emoji, Lord.
That's what I saw. That's
crazy emoji. That just threw me off.
That's a wild set of emojis there. My God, that's crazy.
There's one scenario that Zach LaVine returning to the court as a Chicago Bull moves in the right direction.
Mm-hmm.
There's 4 or 5 where it takes you the other way. Can you risk that? In my opinion, you cannot.
Yeah. I said the same thing over on Central. I think at this point, the chemistry that you're seeing there, it's not worth disrupting that for somebody who is on the way. Here's the thing, and I worded it this way. You can let me know how you feel, Pat. Is that I think that a bigger hit to the team isn't Zach LaVine's trade value going down. It's disrupting what these young players have going on. That's a bigger hit to the overall team.
Because right now, I think that here's the one thing that if you can keep this going, there's a really bright future for the rest of the season.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know they're not supposed to be bad. Right? Like they're a young team that's literally going into this. Like DeMar DeRozan's like, we probably shouldn't beat the Lakers tonight. Like Kobe White, P. Will, Dalen Terry definitely don't know. Like they don't know that they're not supposed to be successful yet.
Yeah.
Like they're just supposed to be developing. They've hit the ground running at every step of the way since Zach LaVine has sat down. And I think that when you look at that, when you put Zach LaVine back in, you just know that there's a dynamic that's going to go the other direction. And at a minimum, to me, if you're AK, do it for your own saving face, right?
Mm-hmm.
I am officially bought in that P. Will is a solid role player.
Whoa, that's huge from you, brother. That's crazy. Okay, we'll take it. We'll take it.
Defensively tonight, how he played LeBron tonight. LeBron played well, but I played LeBron tonight like That's really good. Like, you're trending towards being a solid role player. You have become a solid role player.
Are you willing to say you believe in Kobe now as well? Because if we can get that on record, this may be the most revelations.
Well, for Kobe, to me, it's about the month turning. I've seen Kobe have a great month. Right? For me, it's about, okay, did it in December. Let me see you do it in January. Does it in January, I'm in. But
are you dipping your toe in Kobe?
I'm not dipping my toe in Kobe White. I'm not dipping my toe in any. I'm not dipping my toe in anything. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I'm not.
Yeah, no, that's weird, bro. That's
like, I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. I've never dipped my toe in water.
How do you? You don't wash your feet?
No, what I'm saying is I just put my foot in. I'm not sitting here dipping the toe in the water.
I was about to say, I'm concerned again, my guy. I'm a little concerned there. I don't even remember the point I was about to make. It's probably time to go because we've talked about dipping toes and things way too often on the basketball podcast. That's what I was about to say. Oh. How do you, as a writer, type the Detroit Pistons are thinking about dipping their toe in Zach LaVine and nothing in you says, I probably need to reword that?
Because he got a toe in him. Hey, man, follow us on everything at Locked On Bulls. You can follow me on everything at Pat The Designer. We appreciate you guys for showing love. Big win for the Bulls. Let's keep this thing going and keep your toes safe.
You can follow me at CEO Haize, the CEO Haize. Well, thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Locked On Bulls. We are free and available on every podcasting app and platform of your choice, as well as YouTube and the Odyssey app. For Pat The Designer, this has been Locked On Bulls. And hey, claim your kids. Don't do the Anthony Edwards, man.
Wow, that was crazy. He didn't deserve that straight. Maybe he did.
Did you send the video?
Hey, send the video. Hey, bro, I got to get that Rex Ryan J-Law. What's going on, brother? That's a crazy. No. I got to get that Rex Ryan sound bite. That's a toe I don't like. Oh, wait. Hold on. Don't end the stream.
Hold on.
Wait a second. Take it off. Take your dig off. Take your dig off.
You're right. You're right.
We're not leaving here without doing it right. We've won so many games since I found this music. She ran. COVID. Don't dip your toe. Oh. Hey, man, you gotta watch that toe dipper, man. You really gotta watch that toe dipper.
All right, y'all. We up out of here. Peace, y'all. We crazy.
Oh, God.